There's a lot of interest these days in kind of the role that design can play in helping either organizations kind of address some of the big thorny challenges that they're facing as they try and evolve and adapt to a very diverse world where consumer needs and consumer engagement and the channels with which conversations happen is, multiplying rapidly. And I think both within the design community and outside, to also see how design can impact much bigger kind of social problems. It's easy for that discussion to get kind of reduced to some very sort of specific notions of what design is. Right now, where a lot of that's happening is around the term design thinking. There's a core idea behind that term, which is that design can change the way you think about problems. And I think that that's true, that part of the role that designers can play is to kind of help participants and collaborators within an organization or across a broader initiative to believe in alternate approaches and alternate ways of looking at a problem and alternate ways of breaking it down. And so I think design can help support different ways of thinking, and designers are very willing and practiced at sort of following some of those different channels of thought in a way that other participants might be hesitant. And I think a lot of it is the confidence to push through. That idea has gotten fetishized a bit. The notion that it's simply a matter of getting people to think differently and getting people in a room together to discuss ideas differently, and that there are some simple levers that can disrupt and change the whole dynamic of a problem or an organization just through thought exercises. And I think that's the challenge with the term. Design thinking is mostly about design doing. Most of what we bring that I think shifts the way people approach problems, whether it's in a business or outside, is by doing different things, not thinking different things, and by testing ideas through doing. And I think that's probably the most fundamental element of design thinking, is how you test ideas by doing. What we're finding today is that people have latched onto that idea, and there's been a huge kind of wave of efforts to bring designers and other participants in some of these big social impact issues together for these short, sort of rich collaborative sessions. And I think that the results of those are often disappointing. And I think it comes back to what we were talking about earlier, which is these problems require a great deal of commitment and a high degree of collaboration to follow through on. And the challenge is not thinking up ideas. The challenge is in the way you apply them and evolve them. And not just evolve them to make them better ideas, but evolve them through the collaboration and commitment of the people and the communities that are going to be engaged in making changes. In this area, and particularly around social innovation, I find again and again that when I run workshops, design thinking workshops, with entrepreneurs who are really trying to come up with new models, I find that they're consistently the most creative and fearless people in the conversation, and they put the designers to shame in many cases. We do have ways of shifting thinking and remixing ideas that are very valuable tools for them, but at a fundamental level, a lot of the people that I feel like I meet and work with, like Kristen Zinni, are incredibly creative in the way they think about the problems they're working with, incredibly willing to shift their tack and try out new solutions, and very focused on how to make those solutions as tangible and meaningful and actively engage people in them as quickly as possible, because they've got no time and they've got very little resources compared to the problems they're dealing with.